Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 758, and it is your review of Akira Kurosawa's Madadayo to
Madadayo.
close out the final Akira Kurosawa month and the final Akira Kurosawa review on the Nerdcore Podcast. As always, this is the Nerd Chicana here to host show on, so our wonderful co-host Brad Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to wonderful, wonderful Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
And
It's Tuesday, ain't it?
Tuesday. On a Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, ain't it?
Tuesday. And technically, we could end the podcast right after this.
Yeah, after today, the podcast can make it to 758 episodes, and we would be fully content with that happening.
Yeah, we got all cursed
But because we're madmen, we're just gonna keep
We're
going.
just going to keep going until they tell us not to.
Yeah, maybe until we finish Bergman.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. Before we can go ahead and get into today's review, of course, this is live early and ad free over on patreon.com/nerdcore before it goes up for everybody tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Time. Before we can get into the film, Brad, how are you doing today?
I had the biggest beer in the world.
Yeah, and you're not drunk.
No. Not really.
No.
I'm feeling good, though.
Review would have happened yesterday, but while I was watching this film, I literally made it past the first party. Boom, fell asleep. Had nothing to do with the film itself. Had more to do with the fact that I just got home from work. Yeah. So I was like, hey, Brad, yeah, we're not going to do this review today. And I'm glad I told him that because I ended up finishing the film at 9:30.
There you go.
So today we're here to do this review. And I went to work today, Brad. I worked out. And other than that, not a lot else is going on here, Brad.
True. I went to work. It was work. But
I did taxes.
I did promise. Yeah, I did taxes. Yes, last night. That was fun as hell. But I did promise that I would break out something like an autobiography of Kurosawa.
Yeah.
And read you Sugata Sanshiro Part 2 and what he had to say about that.
All right, let me hear it, Brad.
I'll read you the first two paragraphs because that's really, I think, his ideas on what this was.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sugata Sanshiro had been a hit, so the studio asked me to make a sequel. This is one of the bad points about commercialism. It seems the entertainment sections of Japan's film production companies haven't heard the proverb about the fish under the willow tree that hangs over the stream. The fact that you hooked one there once doesn't mean you always will. These people continually remake films that were successful in the past. They don't attempt to dream new dreams, they only want to repeat the old ones. Even though it has been proved that a remake never outdoes the original, they persist in their foolishness. I would call it foolishness of the first order. A director filming a remake does so with great deference toward the original work. So it's like cooking up something strange out of leftovers, and the audience who have to eat this concoction are in an unenviable position too. Sugata Sanshiro Part 2 was not a remake, so the situation could have been worse, but it was still a question of refrying to a certain extent. I had to force myself to arouse the desire to go back to it and continue it. But one aspect of the story of Higaki Jinosuke's younger brothers seeking a revenge battle with Sanshiro interested me. This was the fact that Jinosuke is forced to see himself as he was in his younger days through the similarly impetuous actions of his younger brother Teshin, and the recollection causes him to suffer. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's it?
That's it.
So one small part of the film is what really drew him in.
And that's it. Which is the same thing I think drew us in, was the two brothers and that fight.
Yeah. Boy, would Kurosawa have a lot to say about life right now.
Yeah,
cinema right now.
After Transformers number 20.
Yep, in all the reboots and all the remakes. Something tells you that he would not have a lot of kind things to say about that.
Probably not. I'm trying to see if anything on Madadayo was in this.
I think he stopped right. I think this is before his suicide attempt.
Yeah.
So it's way before this movie.
So it ends...
I want to know if he has anything in there about Those Who Make Tomorrow.
It ends at Rashomon.
Yeah.
Those Who Make Tomorrow?
Which is the one he did in 1946.
The most beautiful, but reward good
The
people.
one that's like a propaganda film by the occupation.
Yeah. Family tree, my rebellious phase.
Control F, Brad.
Bro, I'm in the index. What do you want from me? I do not see it.
Yeah, he probably didn't have much to say about it.
No.
It was like, yeah, they made me make this movie and I didn't want to make it.
I mean, they've got they got Sugato Sanshiro, the most beautiful. Men Who Tread on Tiger's Tail.
Yeah.
No Regrets for Our Youth. One Wonderful Sunday. Drunken Angel. Quiet Duel. Stray Dog. Scandal. Rashomon.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Yeah, he didn't have anything else to say.
Yeah, I was hoping he had something on Madadayo, but no.
Nah, it's way after before
Yeah.
that, Brad. Yeah.
But we got Senshiro Sugata Part 2, where he kind of talks shit about it.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything he said about Those Who Make Tomorrow. There's a lot of articles about like, is this movie really lost?
No, we watched it.
Those Who Make Tomorrow is lost.
Oh, that's the last one. I thought we watched it. No, that's the one you
Yeah.
mentioned that was only shown once in Japan during like a spring day or some bullshit.
In 2022. So it's tomorrow, which co-directed with two other people. The film is incredibly obscure and doesn't appear to be available on any. Yeah, I know. Well, I guess I don't think what's it called. I guess just Toho isn't gonna release that as it's like a blatant propaganda film, and
Yeah.
what's it called? He didn't really want to make it to the point where he didn't even get to solely direct that movie. They hired other two people to do it. But with that being said, I guess yeah. Well, I can see where he probably just like only found one thing interesting and like that's all he did. But it sounds like he was miserable. Like he just didn't want to make this movie at all.
Yeah, I mean, it really sounds like that he had an issue with sequels and remakes.
Yep. Oh, how ironic is that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The man who would be adapted to hell and back, his movies. You know, one of the entities that came out of his movies has been given past sequels forever now. And yeah. But with that said, Brad, I guess we should do this, Brad. We will be doing our review of Madadayo right after we have our ranking. So get ready for that.
Oh damn, I don't have a ranking.
Brad, I told you, Brad.
I thought you meant later.
No, I told you for the
I don't have a ranking.
Fucking damn it, Brad. God damn it, man. So let's go ahead and get into this review. So, if you haven't seen Madadayo and you care about spoilers, but if you don't, let's go. Okay. If you haven't seen Madadayo and you care about spoilers, you should probably get out of here. But if you don't care about spoilers or you've already seen the film, go ahead and stay. Either way, how it goes is your one and only spoiler warning is in effect after these words from our sponsors in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today's episode of the Nerd Court is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdCourt. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. Brad, introduce him to Madadayo.
All right, bro. But since Wikipedia only had like one paragraph, I'm going to read from the Criterion Collection too.
Okay.
All right. So Akira Kurosawa's Madadayo. For his final film, Akira Kurosawa paid tribute to the immensely popular writer and educator Heiken Uchida, here played by Tatsuo Matsumura. Madadayo is composed of distinct episodes based on Uchida's writings that illustrate the affection and loyalty felt between Uchida and his students. Poignant and elegant, this is an unforgettable farewell from one of the greatest artists the cinema has ever known. And coming from Wikipedia, Madadayo is a 1993 Japanese comedy drama film. It is the 30th and final film to be completed by Akira Kurosawa. It was screened out of competition at the 1993 Cannes Film Festival. The film was selected as the Japanese entry for the Best Foreign Language Film at the 66 Academy Awards, but was not accepted as a nominee. And directed by Akira Kurosawa. Screenplay by Akira Kurosawa, Ishiro Honda. Starring Tatsuo Matsumura, Kyoko Kagawa, Hisashi Igawa, and George Tokoro. Cinematography by Takao Saito and Shoji Ueda. Music by Shinichiro Ikebe. And release date April 17th, 1993. Running time 134 minutes. Budget was 1.3 billion yen. Box office 300 million yen.
Wow. Okay, wow. So, Brad, you've seen this one before.
Yes.
So, I have not. This is literally the last Kurosawa. Brad had his last Kurosawa last week. When I'm really sorry that I had to be Sashiro's God of Part 2.
Me too.
But, yeah. And I'm sorry, but we're not going to be finding those who make tomorrow anytime soon. So, that's not happening.
It's kind of this is 30, I think.
31, Brad.
This is 31.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, number 31.
Well, I get is the horse film considered television movie?
It's a TV doc movie. It still kind of counts.
All right.
But, as for all intents and purposes, for the sake of completion, it counts. So, I'll go ahead and say this, Brad. I really, really love this movie. Do I think it's perfect? Nope. Not at all. But I think it is a beautiful conclusion to the career of Akira Kurosawa. And I think that I can mostly explain it as an epilogue because it's literally there to celebrate the life and achievement of this writer who, teacher, who has devoted his time and life to his students and decides that he wants to write now. And, if you don't, see the parallels to Kurosawa in there, I don't know what else I got to do to make you think that it's Kurosawa speaking to us directly. And I think that it's well made, but the pacing is kind of off in the middle, where it kind of really, to me, lost a lot of steam in the middle of the film.
Yeah, they were looking for that cat for a little while.
Yeah, for a long while.
Oh.
Once you got towards the end when he starts to get out of that depression, and you get that end, I was like, okay, this ends on a really good note. But yeah, Brad, what are your initial thoughts?
I genuinely love this movie. I think the first 30 to 45 minutes is probably some of the funniest stuff Kurosawa has ever written. I think the acting in this is outstanding. Specifically Tatsuro Matsumura, who he plays the funny, beloved professor to a T. I kind of agree. I agree. The cat middle portion when they're searching for the cat goes a little long. I don't mind that because I think it kind of separates that comedy you have in the beginning and shows you that, okay, this film was more than, that comedy, that he's trying to portray this professor as the professor says as childlike, and he gets his feelings hurt and he gets sad, and even as his wife has said that he's just a child, he's afraid of thunder. He misses this cat to the point where he's out there with flyers giving them to school children, be like, call me if you see my cat. And I like this movie because it just shows how beloved one person can be and the effect they can have on so many people, probably not even realizing it.
Yeah.
And because he has these students that they basically fawn over him. They are always around him. They try to support and help them. They build a house and they buy a plot of land so nobody else can build a house in front of him.
Yep.
And that to me is, you have to be truly beloved for these students to care for you in their old age.
Yeah.
They had a party for him, not just a party, an event. Like this is an event from age 60 to the end. Well, possibly then. How old was he? 77.
Yeah. I think
And
so.
I think the author had 4 more years after that. So I think
Yeah.
the author died at 81 or 82. So I don't think that specifically was him dying in the end. Um,
No,
but
I.
this professor is just, I mean, just so much love shown toward him. And I think at the end, when he sees, oh, these are your students' children, and then these are your students' grandchildren. This man lived to see his students, grandchildren. That's crazy.
Yep. It is crazy. I don't interpret that ending as what's it called, as death. I really do interpret more as like rebirth in a way, kind of like him being like, okay, I really did like throughout this whole life, I really, devoted my life to my students and my service of being a teacher and all that, and you can tell the effect it had. Now he goes back to this life of being a child and being and having childlike wonder and being like, you know what, these next years I see it as like I saw it as him being like I'm gonna reawaken my inner child and I'm gonna you know what's it called live
Yeah,
not as a teacher anymore but more as like a like a human being.
yeah. Or could be interpreted as not yet.
Not yet. He's not ready to go yet. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
and I think throughout the film
Such a beautiful
it's
ending
shown that.
though.
Yes,
Beautifully shot. Um,
I love the party scenes in this, specifically the first one, because the
yeah.
first party's off the chain, and it's in
The Not Yet Fest.
1945. Yeah,
Yeah,
the first Not Yet Fest celebrating his 60th birthday, and the party goes so hard that the American MPs are called in because they think there's a riot going on, and then
yeah.
they step in there and they're like, "Oh, it's just a bunch of drunken dudes."
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, let them have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, this is also the first time since his like early career that Kurosawa gets to talk about the what's it called the occupation and about post-war Japan.
without the propaganda.
Yeah, without the propaganda, and he's like, it's rather interesting, don't you think, Brad? Like the way that he approaches it now, like into his old age, compared to like how he approached it when he was young, like with movies like I Live in Fear, The Most Beautiful, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I largely don't think. I think like some of that was forced for him in his early years. Is I remember his second movie was just full of propaganda. Or Sanjuro Sagata Part Two was full of it because he was forced to do it. In this,
Yeah,
I mean, the Americans are there. They've occupied. He does have like some, talking points of saying, rations aren't even available anymore after the Americans occupied. At least when, we were at war, we still had rations. So he gets the
yeah,
hits here and there. But for the most part, the story really revolves around this professor and how he's
yeah.
dealing.
I like, and that's the thing is like I think this movie is just like celebrating the life and the career of this professor, and in a way celebrating the life and the career of Kurosawa. And
Yeah, I
one
know
could say like
people.
those students are like Scorsese, Lucas, and all the ones who come after him who learn from him.
Yeah, and I think people say like, oh, I've read like, oh, this wasn't about Kurosawa, but there are parallels. I think you have to assume there
Oh
are
yeah,
parallels that he made of this. Of this is what he like. I think this is how he would want to be remembered, as being someone who taught as much as he could to his students, and they go out and they do better than him, or they
yeah,
do just as well as him. And I think in both um, Heiken Uchida and Akira Kurosawa, you have that. I
yeah,
mean, there's a reason we're talking about Kurosawa today.
yeah, yeah. Also, the guy who was like naming all the stations, bro.
But I think that I don't know. Parts of me thinks that was on purpose, so it would keep him in the room. as they got the whole funeral procession going, which
Yeah.
that first party, like that had to be a fun set. Like, people were just drunk. And then they bring out and the dude's on the table and I mean they're just asking him if he's ready and he's like Madadayo and I mean I think the comedy also put throughout this film helps, which I don't know if you see it here and there in Kurosawa's movies, but here it's very prolific, especially in the beginning, and then in pieces. It's like when he's at his last birthday party and he has the I don't know the rhythm his heart rhythms off, and they look at the priest and the priest is just sitting there eating a roll, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing, you bastard priest?" And the priest is like, "He ain't ready for me yet." There's comedy parts like sprinkled throughout that, and I think that really helps lighten the mood in this movie, which
Yeah.
probably would get pretty dark if it was just showing the professor getting old and everybody being sad.
Yeah. Man, what a film, man. I really did enjoy it. I just think that it's just
The lost cat part,
yeah, the
a little
middle part is
long.
just like, damn,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah. I was like, come on, man. This is like really like it's a lot. I was like, it's a lot. Like this is like so
But
much.
also I think you have to remember. I think that was one of Hiakin Uchida's works was about a cat.
Yeah, it was. It just to me it just messed with the flow of the film.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion though that he wanted to change or show that little bit of drama, show a different perspective of who the professor was, because in that first 30-45 minutes we do get a funny, heartfelt professor, and then in the next part we do see like, oh, he can get very depressed very quickly over a cat.
Yeah.
So I mean I think Kurosawa definitely once shows the different
Yeah.
depth of this character.
Yeah. Um I will say though, like I like one of the main things that I was reading that people didn't like were like, oh, it's just not as introspective. There's nothing that like alludes to the fight that he had with Mifune that he never fixed. And I'm like,
That's not what the movie's about.
yeah. And it's also like everything before this in Kurosawa's whole filmography has been incredibly introspective. Like so many of his movies, it's talking a lot about what he went through and what his life was like during the World War II and the occupation and the earthquake. It's like there's so much there. So like the one movie where he gets to finally like kind of celebrate his career, I'm like, come on, man. Like does he have to do it like that again? Like he's made all these other movies that way.
Yeah, and I admit, I like. Do I believe this? He was planning for this to be his final movie.
Nah, I don't
No,
think so.
no, I don't. It's like Scorsese. Like when Scorsese passes away, he's in the middle of a movie. I don't think that was going to be his last movie.
Nah.
I mean,
I don't even believe when the man said he's got like four, maybe four left.
yeah, no, I think he's going to keep going until he pulls a Kubrick and is just gone. That's my opinion, and that's my opinion on all these directors. But I think for this to be his final movie ain't a bad thing. Like we
Yeah.
get to celebrate his life, and it's a big party, bro.
Yeah. He did write some screenplays after this. Um, but after that, like he didn't really, no, he didn't make anything else after this one. Yeah. He did, oh, that sucks. So in 95, he slipped and broke the base of his spine.
Oof,
Yeah.
that probably didn't help things.
Yeah. So that ruined all of the hopes of him wanting to make another movie after that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he was in a wheelchair for the rest of his life after that. His longtime wish was to die on the set while shooting a movie. Yeah. Well, yeah. Brad, what's your final verdict?
I'm gonna give Madadayo a 10 out of 10. I absolutely just adore this movie. And am I a little biased on it? Like I can see Ro is completely right. The cat scene in the middle there goes long, but I absolutely adore this movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give this an 8 out of 10, Brad. It's a really good movie. I really liked it, but that middle
That middle
just
is
completely, yeah, completely not ruined it for me, but completely like just
it did
just
like
slowed
you
it
said,
down to
slowed
the
it
point
down.
where I was like,
I can
wow,
see
like
that.
I'm not engaged anymore in this. Like this is really hard to like
But he
stick
got
with.
another cat.
Yeah, and then he just got another cat
He
called
just got another cat because that's
Yeah.
how that works.
yeah. Yeah, it kind of is how it works. But yeah, man, that's it, Brad. I can't believe it. That's it, Brad, because we started this in
2018.
yeah, and it took us 6 years, pretty much 6 years to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's a long time,
Yeah.
but we did it. We even watched the fucking horse documentary, Brad.
Well, we're talking about this pretty good. Honestly, there's been one bad movie.
There's one Kurosawa I don't like.
There's one bad movie, I would say,
Yeah,
and I can't completely
I blame the
Kurosawa.
government. I blame the government and I blame Toho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Blame your propaganda machine.
Yep. But I'd say this: Kurosawa is the greatest filmmaker of all time. He's the greatest director of all time. His work has been studied since he passed, and it will be continuing to be studied after we pass, and after generations after that. I'm glad that we started this journey with Ikiru and we ended with this one. I really, 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 enjoyed being able to finally review every single movie in this. I will be going back to giving some of these other films a chance. Like I'm looking at the Hidden Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking what's it called? Yeah, probably the Hidden Fortress and Stray Dog. Which
Yeah.
I still gave Stray Dog a really good score.
I like Stray Dog too.
Yeah, but like the Hidden Fortress, I think I should probably go back to watching that.
You should go. I mean, specifically just because a lot of Star Wars was taken from that.
Yeah, but I think the Hidden Fortress is the one that I was kind of the most
And that was early
harsh.
in our watch.
Yeah, it was early in our watch.
It was early in our watch. But that was my original movie I had seen of Kurosawa's. So I enjoyed that movie. I mean, do I rank it up there with Ikiru?
Nah.
With Madadayo? I personally don't. But I think it's good.
Well, since Brad doesn't have his ranking, I'll go ahead and give my ranking then.
There you go.
So, all the way down at number 31 is Sanshiro Sagata Part 2.
That makes sense.
Number 30, The Most Beautiful. And I like The Most Beautiful.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Number 29, Scandal. Number 28, The Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, well, you gotta revisit that one.
Number 27, Song of the Horse. Number 26, Those Who Tread on the Tiger's Tail.
Mm-hmm.
Number 25, No Regrets for Our Youth. Number 24, The Lower Depths. Number 23, The Quiet Duel. Number 22, The Idiot. If we had the long-ass version of The Idiot, I'm pretty sure that would be like in top 10. Number 21, Madadayo.
Madadayo.
Number 20, Sanjuro. Number 19, Rhapsody in August. Number 18, Dodes Kaden.
Dodas Kaden.
Number 17, The Bad Sleep Well.
That was a good movie.
Number 16, Stray Dog.
Wow, Stray Dog all the way to 16.
I haven't watched it since we watched it, Brad.
Yeah, Stray Dogs.
Fucking good, man.
Mm-hmm.
But number 15.
Yeah, you gotta rank them.
Number 15, Sanshiro Sagata, Part 1. Number 14, I Live in Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Number 13, which I honestly believe is probably one of the most underrated Kurosawa films of all time. And whenever people talk about Kurosawa, not a lot of people bring this one up. But number 13 to me is Redbeard.
Redbeard's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
For,
Leave it to
for
Kurosawa
being
to make a medical epic.
for Mifune being a doctor.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
absolutely
he made a
great.
fucking medical epic.
Yeah, it's great. I love
Yeah.
Redbeard.
Number 12, Kagemusha.
Oh yeah, I mean that's an epic.
Yeah. Number 11, another one that I believe is one of the most underrated Kurosawa of all time. Dersu Uzala.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now we get the top 10 here, Brad. Number 10.
Oh, shit.
Number 10, Rashomon.
Genius.
Number 9.
That's where you get the rain scenes.
Yep. Number 9, Yojimbo.
Okay.
Number 8, High and Low.
Ooh.
Number 7, Drunken Angel.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Number 6 and on are the perfect scores, Brad. Number 6 is Dreams.
Ooh. Wow, I thought Dreams would be in your top 5.
Yeah, well, the one
It's
above
close.
this one is better to me.
Okay.
Number 5, One Wonderful Sunday.
I love that movie. That was that also, I think,
Super underrated.
super underrated, unexpected, and one of his older movies.
Number 4, Ikiru.
Disagree, but you know.
Number 3, probably the most well-known of his movies. The best one. Arguably the best one. Probably.
Seven Samurai?
Seven Samurai.
Yeah, that's his most known. I feel like so. Where's Throne of Blood on here? Is it 1 or 2?
Number 2, easily one of the best, bro. Like, it's crazy. I fell in love with this movie when I first watched it, Brad. And you can go back to the review and you know our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Ron.
Ron. Because was that the first colored Kurosawa movie we watched of his? The first one in
Yes.
color.
Yes, that was the first color one that we watched from
Yeah,
him.
that one is epic. So, well, I know number 1, which
Number 1, my favorite Kurosawa of all time. And I need to rewatch it again, but I'm pretty sure I'm still going to feel the same way because this movie just fucking blew my mind when I first watched it. Throne of Blood.
retelling of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Than Kurosawa's versions.
Yeah. I mean, Mifune's in that movie is great, but
They literally
Lady
shot
Macbeth,
arrows.
Brad.
They literally shot arrows at Mifune.
Yeah. Lady Macbeth. The woman who plays Lady Macbeth in that film.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. She's amazing.
I think I would probably agree with most of that list, except Ikiru would be my number 1.
Yeah. Yeah. I would put money down that that's probably your number 1, bro.
That's my number 1. It's literally hanging on my wall.
Yeah. But that's it, man. That's my ranking, Brad. And where Those Who Make Tomorrow would land, who the fuck knows?
If we ever get to watch it, maybe. Kurosawa's The Room was a bit much.
Shut the fuck up.
That would probably be epic in itself.
And number 1, Kurosawa's director's cut of Blade Runner. Yeah.
Can you imagine what that would even look like?
Jeez,
I can't.
man.
I can't even.
No. But yeah, man, it has been an honor to watch the Emperor's
Emperor.
filmography. It's just been a great journey we've done. After today, guys, if we decide to end the podcast abruptly, I'm sorry, but it happened because we finally finished it.
We set out on one goal and we did it.
We did. We sure as hell fucking did, right? We set out one goal. We said, you know what? We're going to finish this man's filmography. And we basically finished it the way we wanted it to, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
We did the first 2 and the last 2.
Yep.
So, with that said, that concludes our review of Madadayo. And as always, check us out on nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore, Instagram at the Nerdcore, Letterboxd at the Nerdcore, TikTok at the Nerdcore, Patreon.com/Nerdcore. Discord link is in the description below. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss a single review that drops on the channel. And then, of course, leave a 5-star review and follow us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Tell us what is your favorite Kurosawa film.
And why
All
is
in
it
the comments. And why is it Ikiru? Yeah. Yeah. But talk to us in the comments. We would love to have a chat with you guys about that. And, of course, we want to thank our wonderful patrons. Without them, none of this is possible. Where can they find them, Brad? Where can they find Shane?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/xsrk or on Twitter at thriftedIL, or go buy something from the Subby God at depop.com/Prison City Vintage.
Nice. And yeah, man, that's it, man. That's all we've got, man. I'm pretty sure we'll get what's called those who make tomorrow when all of the fucking Kurosawa films are on 4K, which is probably going to be never.
Never.
But if you're interested, right now you can get on 4K Dreams, Seven Samurai, and Yojimbo and Sanjuro together on the 2-pack. So this coming sale, that's definitely what I'm going to be picking up. I'm going to be picking up Yojimbo and Sanjuro.
Where the fuck is my Ikiru?
Yeah. And that's the one that already has like a fucking 4K, what's it called, restoration. They just gotta put it on the fucking disc. So, I don't know, Brad. I don't know.
Damn you, Toho.
Yeah.
Give me what I want.
They'll never give you what you want, Brad.
No, I know.
Never.
I'm gonna have to go to Japan, aren't I?
Probably, man.
Give me my shit.
Yeah. But with that being said, Brad, let's go ahead and get them out of here.
All right, Roll. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to Stacy for once again joining us in chat. Thank you to our listeners out there, our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, I guess all I got to say is the Emperor was the best. The Emperor will always be the best. And are we ready to end this podcast? Madadayo. Young Yoda.